Good morning. We've got John and Joe from iFinance Mortgage, and super excited as always to have Sean Carroll from the Oscar Tortola Group. And thank you
No
so
one
much for
known.
joining us again, Sean.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Of
Thank you. Thank you.
course. Yeah, some exciting things always going on in the real estate world, in the lending world, and it's nice to take a few moments to talk about that. And maybe what we could do is just start off with kind of from your side of things, Sean,
Yeah.
a market update, the inventory. How's things going in your market?
Well, it hasn't really progressed with inventory. I can tell you that much. Obviously based off of the last time we spoke 2 weeks ago, we had 148 homes on the market within Corona alone.
Wow.
Now I can tell you we have 151.
Woo.
Yeah. So, we've literally gone up 3 homes within the last 2 weeks, 14 days. And I mean, sick in my neighborhood alone, my small farm of Sierra del Oro, there's only 6 available.
Mm.
Yeah, average days on market's about 26, 27 days. And so it's just the inventory is the issue.
Yeah.
Still an incredible amount of buyer interest out there though, and it kind of seems a little bit oxymoron, right? You would assume with all the buyer interest, the homes would be coming off the market
Right.
quicker, but it's kind of a weird little spot we're in. Absolutely. I mean, you guys can obviously, attest and tell me this more, or tell us, I mean, the audience more is, interest rates are just, they're, where, I mean, what are you guys hearing? I know that, it's very volatile, right? You've got a lot of buyers out there that are probably on the fence still. And one day, one moment you're at 6.75,
Right.
maybe the next 3 days after you're close to 7, and people are getting scared of that 7 number. So I mean, I don't know, what are you guys feeling on your end?
Yeah, I think right now, Sean, where we're seeing a lot of the buyers, right, that you said, like you said, they're on the sideline. They're going in with that mindset of I'm going to marry the house, but date the rate, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Because there's a couple. What I'm starting to see is that there's certain houses that in certain communities that don't usually go on the market, right?
Yeah.
And now they're
Right.
they're hitting the market, obviously at top price, right,
Yeah.
top dollar. So that incentivizes some borrowers to say, hey, well, I love the house, I love the area, I love that school district within the neighborhood, so I'm just going to bite the bullet and just get into the house and just kind of wait it out, 6 months, whatever it's going to take to get the interest rates to decrease, because eventually it's going to happen, right?
Right.
Rates will come down, but we just don't know when. We wish we had
Yeah.
that crystal ball, right? Some people speculate it's going to happen, at the end of the year. Others say it might be early 2024. So we just have to
Yeah.
go along for the ride.
Yeah, that's something that I always stress to our families that we help too is, look, man, you're gonna just date that rate, man. It's nothing crazy. I mean, in reality, it's you've got to get this house. If this is it, you've got to do it
Yeah,
because you're gonna miss out on so many opportunities, right? And it's gonna
exactly.
really I have a few families that we've been dealing with over time, right? I mean, 5, 6 months of showing properties, right? And now they're having buyer remorse,
Mm.
and they're like, crap, I should have gotten in the house on Lake Mist back in February when it was, at, I don't know, I'm just gonna throw a number out, 530,000.
Yeah.
Right now, from February to now, that house would be worth, I mean, they've gained a substantial amount of equity already,
Yeah.
560, 550, 560, right? Within that short
Right.
period of time. And now it's pushed out of their ballpark. They can't even get it. They wouldn't be able to even afford it.
Right.
Right. And so it's extremely unfortunate. But we as partners and as guides, in my opinion, we just have to push them into a path of success as opposed to something
Yeah.
of like not wanting to, it pains me. It absolutely pains me as a real estate professional that as hard as we work to make sure that our family's dreams come true,
Mhm.
it sometimes could be out of reach. Like
Yeah.
back in last year, 2 years ago, it was like, oh my gosh, This is easy. I mean, we're making dreams come true left and right.
That's right.
Right. But that's kind of, it's just, that's where we're at right now. And it's just, it's a finicky time.
Yeah, Sean, speaking of that as well, there's just because of the way the economy's been the last couple years here, especially,
Yeah.
there's what we're hearing is a lot of people are getting in debt, and some of them are in panic mode because they know that they have some good money or equity in their home,
Yeah.
but they don't want to touch that 2.5 interest rate or whatever they have in the low twos there. And yet we're trying to help them understand the whole picture here. It's like, okay, your X amount of debt in credit card debt, which is at 24 to 27%, and you're worried about maybe moving that monthly payment of your mortgage up to, let's say it went all the way up to 7% or whatever. Right. But when you look at the overall picture, and let's say you cashed out some money and took out the right amount, and you paid off that credit card debt and those high numbers, overall you could be in a much better position with that 100%. Monthly nut, which takes in not just your mortgage payment, but it takes into consideration all your payments. So that's another form of education that we're finding right now to help people, in addition to the purchase world, is and sometimes that's holding people back from wanting to get into the purchase world because they see their debt accumulating. So that's another thing that we're kind of working with right now.
And that's huge. That's huge. I'm a big proponent on that. I think that seeing the overall big picture is going to be a benefit and a blessing to a seller looking to buy something else, whether it be upgrading or upsizing, downsizing, whatever it be, right? Because at the end of the day, it's like a 7% interest rate sounds much better than the bulk. If you add it all up, what's your average interest rate? I mean, or interest percentage that you're paying overall a month.
Yeah.
Your debt to income ratio is 50s or whatever it may be. Dude, you could drop that down. You can drop down your interest, only be paying interest on your home. In
Absolutely.
Reality, I think the conversation, it doesn't need to, in my opinion, because a lot of buyers are scared right now.
Yeah.
But you've got to come in as a real estate professional, as a lending professional, in my opinion, with a wholesome heart and an understanding of, look, man, this is a great time. And we all know this. It's a good time to buy still. Like,
Absolutely.
That's the reality of it. The reality of it is you got to get in. Equity is gaining on a superb level, right? You can become financially set free through home ownership. And so the reality is just, like Joe said, bite the bullet, man. Just bite the bullet and get in.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And understand like there's a principle in the good book in the Bible that talks about calculating the cost. When you're about ready to buy a home, you calculate all the costs, the expenses, everything. And it's the same thing with home ownership. Is you start looking at not just your monthly payment, let's say. Keep that light on. Clap, clap.
My light goes off in 1 second. There we go. Hey, we're live. I don't know what to tell
man.
you.
I love it. Hey, that's real life. That's what happens.
Real life.
Energy efficient.
Yeah.
But that's what we deal with, is just trying to help people understand, that there's there's a cost to not getting into the market right now, especially if you're going to wait and you think you're going to wait till later when times are better. It doesn't always work that way. And so I really appreciated your comment there, Sean, about, as professionals, that's our duty. That's our responsibility to educate, to help mentor, to help alleviate, fears and things like that as people want to enter into the market.
Yeah, I think that there's a misconception out there when it comes to real estate agents, lending partners, whatever it may be, right? I get this a lot, and I actually love this, I guess, this call out, for lack of a better word, right?
Yeah.
I love when somebody says, You're just a real estate agent, and that's what you've been trained to tell everybody is to buy right now.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
I love that.
Amazing.
You know why? Because it allows me the opportunity to bring value in that point of, no, that's not what we're trained to do. We as real estate professionals are trained to guide and support you as a family to get into your dream home. And if we see there's an opportune moment for you to capitalize on it, we're going to tell you it's the right time. If the times were changed and it was like a horrible time to buy a house, right? I would be upfront with them and say, you know what, maybe you wait. Because guess what? I'm a guide at that point. I'm providing value at that point, right? And so it's something that I take a lot of pride upon and on is Veronica and I are very well versed when it comes to that. We understand. I'm not going to beat around the bush or BS somebody because I think it's the right time all the time.
Right. Yep.
Right.
And that's how you build the trust.
That's how you build trust, right? That's and it's sad that us as real estate professionals, because we are all real estate professionals, and we have that we're not car salesmen, right?
Yep, that's very true.
We're dream makers. We make the American dream come true, and whether that be through, you know, telling you to wait, hold on, not now, wait until something happens, like we're feeling something's coming, give it a moment, or it's, yeah, dude, it is a good time.
Jump in. Yeah.
Jump in now. Because guess what? At the end of the day, they're going to thank you either way. You're going to gain a new family. You're going to have a new friendship, a new relationship, and you're going to be able to hand keys over at the opportune time.
So true.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really good. And, you know, there's something that I always share when I'm sitting down with potential borrowers is I tell them, I won't lie to you and I won't lie for you.
Yeah.
And, you know, part of that has to do with exactly what you just mentioned, you know, is now a great time to get into the market? Is it not? You know, I'm going to be straight with you. I'm going to tell you, hey, the interest rates, this is what we're hearing. Like Joe said, no one's got that crystal ball there, but this is what we're hearing. And, you know, if you're looking to purchase a home in the next 6 months, you know, give us your timeline. When do you see yourself cooking that first meal, you know, in your home? Now we're going to work backwards here and we're going to be straight with you. Here's the time that you need to get all your ducks in a row. Let's look at your position right now. And here's a few things that we should probably clear up. Here's a few things we should address. And let's get you strategically ready to go get pre-approved and then go with Sean and Veronica to find that dream home.
Yeah. You know what? That is so true. That is so good. You know, the plan is the most important thing. Yeah. If somebody's not ready yet, you know, I have countless conversations with people on a daily basis of, I'm just not ready yet. I want to buy. I would love to buy a house. I just know that I'm not ready yet. Well, my first question is, well, first of all, who told you you're not ready yet?
Yeah.
Right?
Good question.
Well, I just know that my credit is X and my bank account shows X, and I'm just not sure if I can. Okay, but have you really sat down and had this conversation with our financial partner? Yeah. Have you sat down and allowed Veronica and myself, John and Joe, to go over the full spectrum of what you need to do? Because who's to say? You know, there's a lot of, you know, people and, you know, outside entities in people's heads and in their ear, right? They're telling them they're not ready. But the reality is what if? I've had that a multitude of times. It's like, dude, they're like, I'm not ready yet. Okay, well, let's see. Right. Then come to find out they can buy a house, and they could have probably bought a house a few months back. Yeah. And now they're like, crap, like you know, but it's the planning, right? Again, that attests to us being values, bringing value, and we are, in a sense, guides. Yeah.
That's
so true.
That's it, right? So
100%, because that's our job, is to educate, right? Educate the borrower. And a lot of times, like I say, Sean, a lot of first-time home buyers are going to say, well, I'm not ready. But a lot of times they say it because they're scared, right? They don't know the process. They don't know how it works. And that's where we come into the picture, right? We're here to hold their hand, give them the show them the system. This is step 1, step 2, step 3, right?
Yeah.
And the ultimate goal is to get them into their dream home and
For
make them
sure.
homeowners, right? And I think the biggest thing right now is that so many people are just focused on interest rate, right? So it's like we have to just change the game, right? And just kind of reprogram the mind of the borrower. Say, hey, don't focus on rate. Let's focus on payment, right? What's the
Payment.
payment? Because a lot of people can afford a payment with today's rate, right? But they're just so focused on rate because they're comparing it to the 2.875 from like 2 years ago, right?
Right.
The 3%.
It's true.
So I think the biggest thing is we just have to eliminate that from their mind. Say, hey, let's not focus on the rate. Let's focus on payment. What can you comfortably afford every month, right? And you just kind of work from there, right?
Yeah.
That's part of the education process when we're working with these first-time home buyers.
Absolutely. And even with that, even with a seasoned buyer, right? I get that too. Like I recently just had a conversation with a gentleman that I was we were looking to get him into a home, and his mindset was, I bought my first house, it was at 14% interest rate, this was back in the early 2000s, 90 or late 90s, right?
Mhm.
Granted, the house is probably worth $270,000, whatever it may have been, right? But then he goes and says, well, 6.5% is way too high, right? And I'm like, okay, well, let's just break it down, right? He's like, I want the 2% interest rate. I'm going to wait till the 2% interest rate hits again, right? And I said, okay, let me ask you a question. From 1999 up until now, how many times have you seen an interest rate down by 2%? Close to the 2.5%. And then I'm just kind of waiting, like, don't worry, I'll wait, kind of thing. Right. And it was like a one-time thing because that was just unheard of.
One and done.
There's a one and done kind of thing, right? And so you look at it and you're like, look, at the end of the day, before the pandemic hit, interest rates were at what? I mean, you guys can probably prove this better than I can, but the 6% rate, 4 or 5%,
Yep.
Somewhere in that range, 4 to 6%. So it's right where we're at, right? I mean, in retrospect, yeah, we're a few points higher now, but the reality is seasoned buyers understand, and they should know, if they're educated appropriately and correctly,
Right. Yeah.
that interest rates go like this.
And I think it was good that you're,
Right.
as a real estate professional, we're not afraid to gently challenge back, because sometimes people believe everything they read and see in the media, right? And what they hear from their friends and all of this stuff. But
Yeah.
as a professional, that's part of our job to have courage. And it takes courage to sometimes challenge that back and say, well, let's really look at the numbers. Let's look at the facts, not the perception of things.
Exactly.
And I really appreciate what you were saying there, Sean.
Yeah, I think that, I look at it like this too. A CFO or a CEO sitting in a business meeting with somebody who keeps on just chirping back at them and saying, this is how it is, 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 this is how it is. And if that CEO just sat back and took it, that business would be in the ground.
Right.
Right. We as real estate professionals and business owners, because that's what we are, we have to stand firm on what we believe and what we understand is going on in the market, because we are boots on the ground. So if you don't stick up for what's going on in the market as you know it, because you do live and breathe it every day. I dream about real estate. It's weird. I go to sleep, I have a dream about real estate. I'm like, oh my gosh, really?
Was that real?
Was that real? Like, seriously, right? But we do, right? And we have a good understanding of what is going on in the marketplace. So we need to convey that to the consumer, to the buyer, to the families that we're helping, because at the end of the day, it's like we would be doing a disservice to them.
Yeah.
If we did not speak the truth.
That's so true. And what's we talked a little bit about education. We talked about making sure that we're on the we're bringing our A game all the time. And one thing I'm really excited about is at the end of this month in August, we're heading back to United Wholesale Mortgage, UWM, the #1 wholesale lender in the country. And Sean, you and Veronica are coming with us. We're really excited to have you come out with us. But it's going to be just a wonderful opportunity to get some good education, to tour the facilities, to meet underwriters, to talk with people that are living in the trenches every day as well, on the back end side. And I'm really excited, Joe and I both, to not only take members of our own team out there, but to have you guys with us. And we're going to do some podcasting and some fun things while we're out there too. So should be really
Yeah,
cool.
that's gonna be great. Veronica and I are super excited. And you know, I was having this conversation with one of our team members here yesterday, no, Wednesday. And you know, let them know we're obviously going out there to Detroit. We're gonna have a good time. We're gonna learn some stuff. And you know, they asked, you know, simple question. It's like, you know, why are you going? You're a real estate agent. It's a lending. And my simplest answer could have been education, man. I literally just want to learn, and it's okay for us to learn. It's okay for us to
100%.
learn in different aspects. Now, mind you, remember, I'm a 12 or 13-year escrow guy. I was an
Right.
escrow. I ran escrow for 13 years.
Yeah.
Right. I have that whole thing to a T. Right. I got it narrowed down.
You know the process.
And I know it. Right. And then now the real estate, and then, you know, even more, you know, getting back into the lending thing, you know, it's just good to be all around versed, you know, well versed in everything, so that, you know, when issues do arise or anything like that, you can kind of understand how to handle it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And also, I just love learning. It's a very good thing for me. So
no,
Veronica's pumped.
Oh, good. That's going to be so much fun. And, you know, part of the other reason why UWM has this program, not only for realtors, but, you know, realtors are the front line of defense. You're like the EMTs and the medics in the field, right? You arrive on the scene first. You're there to help those borrowers, to educate them, to patch up their wounds, you know, help get them to the hospital. And, you know, when it comes to it, to have as much education as you possibly can, not just real estate, the escrow side, but even on the lending side, you're just that much more valuable in the field with these borrowers and knowledgeable. And then by the time, you know, we're introduced to them and help, you know, going to help them with, you know, the actual processes and going through it, they already know. They're not frightened of the process because, you know, you're even more educated on it in the, you know, on the front lines. So we're excited about that. And we're thankful to UWM for having that program.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Thank you guys for allowing us to even be a part of it. I mean, it's such an honor, you know, we're pumped. We're excited. It's going to be a good time. And, you know, been a minute since we've been on a plane. So I'm like, all right,
let's go.
It feels good to get on one again. So let's see how that goes. I'm like Googling how long is the flight? Like, okay, where am I flying? Like, you know, I'm getting all psyched up.
Good. We're going to be sharing the details of the transportation arrangements and all that stuff coming up. So really excited about that. And, well, you know, it's been a great chat here.
Yeah.
We like to keep them brief, but it's always important to get market updates, see how our partners are doing as well. And Sean, we're truly happy that you've joined us again today. And we look forward to our next time together. And we just can't wait to travel together as well.
Yeah, we're excited. And hopefully we're not going to space where you're at. I'm just... We'll get there safely. I'm excited.
Don't let the background fool you. I know, right?
We're excited, man. And, you know, thank you guys so much for the opportunity. As always, you know, you guys are great and wonderful partners to have. We're thankful for you guys. So, you know, keep up the hard work, keep grinding, keep pushing. Everybody out there. One thing, if I can say one thing,
absolutely,
in this market before I close, you know, I'm not God's gift to real estate, but if I can just say something real quick, I think it's very important for real estate agents to understand is in this time right now, this hard market, it's important to pivot, shift, and get back to your basics.
Yeah.
Veronica and I right now are in the midst of now restructuring what we need to do on our side. And, you know, it one lights a spark under you again. It makes you excited again about doing this business.
Yeah.
But it's change is important. And
it is.
Pivoting into a new section or a new sector of your business is so huge. And you'd be very well surprised that it's probably going to do you a huge benefit. And then also, you know, the basics, you know, get back to your farming, get back to your cold calling, get back to your door knocking, get back to all the things that you were doing in the beginning to start your business off, because you will start to see those benefits pop out again. So stay strong. It's tough out there, but you know, a lot of realtors are thick-skinned, so I think we'll be all right.
Yeah, good advice. Yeah, that's really good. We're
Yeah.
doing the same thing. We're keeping our mind right, keeping it
Right.
fed with things, and we're keeping our grind tight. You know?
Exactly. And keep writing your schedules.
There you go.
Yes,
Get your
yes.
schedule going every day.
Awesome.
Stick to it.
All right, Sean. We'll say
right,
hi to
guys.
Veronica for us too.
Yes.
And Joe, as always, it's really
Yeah.
great to always be together on here.
Good to see you guys. Good to
All
see you.
right.
Enjoy your weekend. Stay cool out there in the OC. I'm sure
For
it's not as
sure.
hot
For
as it
sure.
is out here. But
All right, guys.
all
Take
right.
care.
We'll see you later. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.